Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition, the top stories. Protective measures and new modalities for the year 2020. For the international news, 220 million vaccines for Africa. Hello and welcome again for having the news in details. The President of the Port and Free Zone Authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, met today at Kempinski Palace with the President of the Somali region of Galmudug, Mr. Ahmed Abdi Kariye, who, at the head of a high-level delegation of his administration, has been on a 72-hour visit to Djibouti since Wednesday. Discussions between the chairman of the Port and Prisons authorities and the president of the Somali region focused on a project to build a port in Hobyo in the Galmudug region. It was about the assistance, especially technical assistance and transfer of skills and know-how that our country has a high profile to offer to the Somali region of Galmudug in the latest legitimate quest to build port infrastructures in its coastal locality. For his part, the president of the Galmudug region said he was very proud of the expertise of the Republic of Djibouti in the field of port infrastructures. He thanked the president of the Republic, saying that this seminar had enabled them to acquire a lot of information both in the fields of port infrastructure development and the necessary technologies, and in the field of capacity building for the port authorities of his region. At the end of the meeting, a technical team was appointed from the ports and free zones authorities to visit the site in order to start the feasibility study of the Hobyo port. The president of the Galmudug region of Somalia was accompanied by several ministers of his administration, including the Minister of Security, Mr. Ahmed Amali Feki, the Minister of Interior, Mr. Ahmed Abdi Jama, the Minister of Transport, Mr. Abdurazak Mohammed, as well as logistics and port officials from Galmudug region. On the Djiboutian side, the president of the APZFD, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, accompanied by his advisor, Mohammed Aden Wabari, the APZFD project director, Aden Musa Duxia. The president still of the ports and free zone authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, then met today at the Kempinski Palace with his counterpart of the Mogadishu ports authorities, Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud, located on one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world at the crossroads between East Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, the Asian continent, and Europe via the Suez Canal. Djibouti has put in place mega port infrastructures project facilities to enable it to take full advantage of this strategic location, and the acquisition this year of the container ship that the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Margele, inaugurated and officially launched its activities recently last July, completes the missing link aimed in reinforcing its status as a major regional and international maritime trade hub. The president of the Mogadishu Port Authorities is keen to exploit this opportunity to export its agricultural projects, whether fruits or vegetable, or projects very rich in Somalia, a rewarding opportunity for Somalia in terms of export time, which is 3 to 1 week, much more convincing compared to the otherwise very difficult land-based voice. This discussion was attended by the chairman of the Mogadishu Port Authorities, Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud, and his close collaborators. On the Djiboutian side, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi was accompanied by his advisor, still, Mohammed Aden Wabari, the director of the project, Aden Musa Duxi. According to the president of the authorities of port and free zones, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, Djibouti is breaking a new ground in its determination to become an international logistic platform at a multimodal hub of economic and commercial exchanges, and subsequently reassures his counterpart of the complete availability of the authorities of port and free zones to collaborate in the best condition with very experienced teams. Now, the chairman of the Mogadishu Port Authorities, Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud, who spoke to the local and regional press, said he was very surprised by the progress made by the Republic of Djibouti in the field of ports infrastructures in recent years. This reflects the visionary point of the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Margele, has equipped himself with the most modern infrastructures in the world in his field. Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud, chairman of the Mogadishu Port Authority, said, and I quote, "It should be noted that the ports of Djibouti are all equipped with a 4-in-1 route port air railway collection and distribution system in the Horn of Africa, which will offer investors unique advantages in terms of logistics and transport in the region. Djibouti's strategic position is one of the world's busiest trade routes linking Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas will provide perfect accessibility for industrial companies to connect with their suppliers and customers. This is an opportunity for us to take advantage in this market our products abroad with a really very competitive record time," said Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud, chairman of the Mogadishu Port Authorities. Now back to school. The new school year is scheduled to begin on Sunday, 6th September, for more than 100,000 fundamental education students, a special start to the school year 2020-2021, placed in the sign of bare measures because of the COVID-19 pandemic that has been raging in the world and in our country since March. To this end, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training has taken all the necessary measures to ensure that pupils and teachers can work in optimum safety conditions. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training recalls that the school uniform for basic and medium education remain unchanged. In accordance with the presidential decree, the wearing of school uniforms will be institutionalized for all pupils of the general high school at the beginning of the school 2020-2021. For the supply of the fabrics and the making of school uniform of the high school, parents will place their order directly with the tailor of their choice. Now, yesterday, the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, in collaboration with the Coast Guard, organized an outing to Duda for young people with hearing and visual problems. The aim was to make them forget about disabilities and give them back their carefree spirit by allowing them to do the same activities as the others with the others. In this summer camp, around 50 young people from different neighborhoods, all visually and hearing impaired and with other pathologies, therefore gathered early in the morning at the King Fahd complex, the starting point according to the instructions, before setting off towards Duda Beach. It was a unique experience that left its mark on more than one person. For some, it was the only opportunity of the youth to not be the only blind person, as in class, for example, confided one of the young holiday makers. Throughout the day, the young people are supervised and accompanied in order to spend a suitable stay and simply have a good time. Above all, they were able to take part in numerous sports, artistic, and cultural activities adapted to their situation. Present on the site alongside Colonel Baez of the Coast Guard and several other SCGS officials and members, the State Secretary for Youth and Sports, His Excellency Hassan Mohammed Kamil, praised the courage of these young people. Indeed, many people with disabilities are or feel cut off from others and have difficulty accessing leisure activities. The fact that they are taking part in such an event today is a sign of courage, character, and still mentally, but above all, of the head of state's successive inclusive policy. Once again, the policy conveyed by the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, which aims to guarantee the development of all young Djiboutians, confirms its full meaning by giving these young people a choice to live like everyone else, freely choose their lifestyle, participate in the life of the city, and be actors in it. This is quite simply that what people with disabilities and their families want. Now, as part of the preventive measures for the start of the 2020-2021 school year, the Ministry of Health, through the INSPD, organized disinfection activities for all schools in the 3 municipalities of Djibouti City. These spraying and disinfection activities in the capital come after those carried out in the interior regions, which also benefited from these preventive measures to ensure optimal conditions, recalling that this initiative stemmed from the memorandum of the understanding side between the Department of Health and the Ministry of Education, which were validated by the Scientific Committee for the Fight Against COVID-19. They are therefore part of the strengthening of measures to prevent and fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, to protect all users of school in order to avoid new infection in the school environment. These spraying and disinfection activities will be carried out periodically in order to complete the battery of barrier measures that will be made available in all schools in the Republic, namely respect for physical distances and hand washing with soap, but also the compulsory wearing of masks. In the framework of environmental protection, the local association organized a Citizens' Day to collect plastic bags and bottles in Al Sabih, the capital of the region of the same name. The clean-up operation of the urban sectors in the program of this local association were launched at the foot of the Flag Mountain. This miracle mount of the city of the Asajog, in the presence of the prefect of region, Mr. Musa Aden Migane, the president of the regional authority of decentralization, Omar Ahmed Ais, and members of Al Sabih Roads Agency, better known by its acronym AVAS. The leaders of the region all welcome this commendable initiative by the leaders of this locality. Both the prefecture and the regional council will always support all noble actions in favor of the collective interest emanating from the associative land. They recommended that the members of the association hand off all rubbish bags filled with plastic bags and bottles to the AVAS. This morning, the operation to collect the plastic bags and bottles were real a success, as entire areas of Aska city were ranked and cleaned. Still in Al Sabih, the prefect of Al Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden Migan, received in his office at the prefecture a team from Djibouti Radio Television shooting a film entitled Hami Gur in the Asajog region. The team is composed of a director, a cameraman, author, as well as the national artist. A beautiful advertisement for the region, which welcomed with pleasure the shooting of this film entitled Hamigur, which highlights the culture and beauty of the country. The filming of the film went very well, and the film crew was very satisfied with the work and very grateful for the welcome it received. They thanked first of all the prefect of the region for his kind welcome during the filming of the film. Moving now to international news now, as the race to find safe and effective vaccine against COVID-19 continues. African countries have committed to the COVAX initiative to guarantee at least 220 million doses of vaccine to their continent once it has been licensed and approved. According to Dr. Richard Mhigo, WHO coordinator for immunization and vaccines in Africa, 54 countries on the continent have expressed interest in the global COVAX initiative. COVAX will contribute to the equitable distribution of 2 billion doses of approved vaccine. Already 8 African countries are joining the program, including Equatorial Guinea. In April this year, 2 French researchers commenced suggesting that a vaccine against COVID-19 be tested in Africa caused on outcry. WHO Director Tedros Ghebreyesus reacted by hammering home that Africa will not be a testing ground for any vaccine. This is it for this edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.